Hey guys, it's Nicole, and today I'm going to be sharing the second set of layouts that I have done using the same collection kit, which is by Simple Stories, the So Happy Together Collector's Essentials Kit, which is basically the pattern papers, 12 by 12 stickers, a pack of die cuts, and a pack of chipboard. And then I keep forgetting to mention that I had bought a second die cut pack that was different images, which explains why I have so many die cuts left. But I am kind of glad that I got the other one, because the other one is the one that had more tags, and I can't think of which, like the labels and stuff like that were in the other set, which I threw the packaging away. So this is basically the bits and pieces. I think the other one is called something else. If I can find the name of it, I'll go ahead and link that too, because this whole time I think I've only been linking this set, which every time I've looked up the link, it's been on sale at scrapbook.com. And I think scrapbook.com is the only place that I've seen these essential kits. I'll check Scrapbook Generation and a Cherry on Top and see if they do it too. I'm not really sure. Sometimes when you see a collection kit, it's just the papers and the sticker. I'm not sure if this essentials thing is a new thing that Simple Stories is doing, or if it's just with certain collections. Anyways, by the time this video goes up, you should have seen all of these layouts, possibly not the last one because it was for a hop that I was invited to go to, which I'm editing the video today, but I did want to include the layout in this video because it does use up a ton of my scraps, so I didn't want it to be confusing as to why suddenly I was missing a bunch of paper. Anyways, so as far as the layouts go, again, this one is up on my channel. It is using a sketch from the Whole Picture Volume 2 from Scrapbook Generation. There is a process video for this. I will link it below. This was basically just the individual shots of my daughter, and then I kind of talk about her at this phase over here. I was able to use up a bunch of strips. Some of them do not connect behind the photo, so I was able to use smaller pieces and the pieces from the branding strips. And then I did use one of the die cut, or the, not die cut, chipboard. Chipboard is something that I don't normally use, so it was kind of nice to get at least part of the chipboard touched. Okay, so this was layout number 5 from this whole series. Layout number 6, again, there is a process video on this. This was how I chose to tackle the photos of my kids together. And originally I thought I was going to do a layout of the kids together and then a layout of them with their monkeys. But I was kind of panicking when I was looking at the amount of paper that I had left. And I was like, how can I sort of kill two birds with one stone? And this is another sketch from that same sketchbook. My favorite notebook die, some leftover pieces from die cuts. I did go ahead and use a chipboard, and then on their sketch they sort of had the title in this area bridging this gutter. I don't like to do that. Plus I already knew that I was going to be using a cut apart to sort of be my title. I did want to at least attempt to use one of the cut aparts. So far I've been using the back side and the like edges of them to cut shapes or cut strips out of, so at least I can say I used one cut apart. And then this is another one where the strips don't necessarily go all the way across. I was able to hide a bunch of stuff behind these elements, so it's a hot mess back here. There is a process video for it. This is, I'm pretty sure, labeled as layout number 6, and I'll put a link below for this one as well. And then from there, this was the hop that I host with a couple friends on YouTube, where there's 13 or 14 of us each month on the 20th following along with some prompts and some themes. And I issued the prompt of sort of sharing your love or your inspiration for other crafters and to pick somebody to scrap lift. And so I scrap lifted a friend who does digital scrapbooking. There is a video for this. It is part of a large hop, so if you're looking for, you know, you want to watch a couple videos while you're crafting, it's a good kind of hop to go along because you can watch a bunch at once. And this was another one that was really good for scraps because I was able to squeeze these from just different areas and get a lot of scraps used up, and then I was able to kind of use up a bunch of different die cut stuff that I had already cut in half and used on other layouts. Ones that I wasn't even sure what to do with, which is going to be this clock. This one was really, really fun for me. It was a nice break from the sketchbook, and then I allowed myself to go into my stash and take out a piece of Simple Story Snap Basics. I think this is one of their like autumn collections, but it has like a doily pattern on the back and then this really pretty wood grain. So this was sort of my first cheat of taking something out of my stash. And then this is the one that will be going up on the 29th as part of the multi-photo hop that I think it's Sarah Scraps, Christina, bunch of girls that like must do these hops or whatever, but they messaged me and I was like, one, they somehow found me, know who I am, and two, hell yeah, I want to join. And this one was already, okay, let me see. Hi, can you get down? Come on, get down. Come on. Thank you. This one was already kind of planned out for me and next on my list. I played along with a previous sketch that Allison Davis from Scrapbook Generation released. She does these things called Sketch Week where she gives you a free sketch and then over the course of the week she shares how she changes the sketch up. I kept mine pretty close to hers. Again, I was able to use up a ton of paper scraps, get a lot of color and interest going on in the background, and then keeping sort of the foreground super simple. And then I just made my own photo collages. This is something that I do like to do. Her sample was using 3x3 photos, so it was more of like a long and skinny. That wasn't going to work for my photos, but I was able to take her concept and make it work for my photos and my sort of hot mess of a kit, and I am actually really happy with the outcome. So that was really, really fun. So on to my, I guess, trash pile of supplies that I've got going on. I did try to clean it up a little bit for you guys, so you're not like watching me dig through a bunch of bins and stuff. As far as paper goes, the largest pieces are just kind of this stuff. I am excited, proud of myself, I don't know what the word is, that these like 5 right here are my favorite from the line, and I have some decent size chunks left. So it does just kind of validate in my mind that I don't need to hoard my favorite patterns. I can use them and still be able to see them and enjoy them on a layout in small chunks and spread them out pretty far. And then I have been keeping the smallest of scraps, which most people will be like, why? But these have been what's come in handy. These are what I backed my heart shape with. These are what I did that last layout that I just showed with you guys. It's what I'm using to die cut, you know, phrases out of. I have been die cutting hearts and stuff out of it. This has been where I kind of go here first, then I go here. So it's kind of a fun flip of how I would normally look at my supplies. And then I've been keeping, like the hearts that I've been die cutting, I've been keeping them in here. And just as I need to die cut them, and then I was toying around with these Polaroids. I'm going to end up using them on a different layout. And then these I ended up keeping. I'm probably not going to use, but the mom and dad layout that I just showed you, I was playing around trying to make my own title. And again, I mentioned it in the video that's on the 29th. I was struggling with how busy that background was. And while I loved these, they were so fun to make. They're so pretty. They got lost on top of all of those patterns. So to me, it's just, I kind of kept it as a sample of sometimes what you think is going to work out isn't going to work out. So I just threw them in there. But yeah, these little faux chipboard heart things have been like my favorite, like palette cleanser almost. Like in between layouts, I'll just sit here and I'll watch a couple YouTube videos and cut a bunch of white hearts. And then when I go to do the actual layout, I'll come in here and pick a pattern that I want and just glue it onto the top. So these are kind of ready to go. I am running really low, so I do kind of want to make some more of these. And then the stickers, the die cuts, and the chipboard, I feel like I leave the room and they make babies, or I'm just doing a sucky job of using them. It could be both. The sticker sheet, I feel like I've done a pretty good job down here, but to me, I think that's typical. I think I gravitate towards tabs, I gravitate towards phrases, I gravitate towards, I mean, they only give you one border strip anymore, but I do gravitate towards those. This was super easy to be able to use it as a title. This would have been too, but it said the exact same thing as that cut apart card, so I went with the cut apart card. And then things like the hearts were sort of the first thing to go. I have left myself a couple. Some of the images, whether it's in die cut form, sticker form, or chipboard form, I'm just like, one would have been good. One house on the sticker sheet, one house in the chipboard, one house in the die cut would have been nice because you could kind of mix them up. To me, I'm just like overkill on some of the images, and I don't know past 1 or 2 layouts how I'm going to be able to use them, but I am sort of challenging myself to see if I can. As far as chipboard and die cuts, now again, I had to remind myself today that the reason I have so many die cuts left is this was 2 packs. So I probably started with 100. I don't know how many are on here, but I feel like I've done a decent job on the die cuts. I've pretty much used all the florals except for these 2 little babies. This is what I've got left of the chipboard down here is just sort of these. And then the rest of this is all sort of die cuts. Some of the ones like this, I'm not really concerned about using them up as part of this challenge because these are really, really good basics. It's just black and white. These I can put in my die cut binder and pretty much use anytime. They're not really theme specific. They're also not color specific. So some of them I'm like, you know what, it's not going to kill me if I don't use the phrases because the phrases you can always use. But this came with so many phrases that I didn't want to overload my layouts with just a bunch of phrases, and then you kind of don't know, well, what's your title? Like, what are you going with here? So, again, this is where I'm at. I've still got, like, a pile of, like, go-to stamps and dies and stuff that I've been just leaving out, and it's a good, like, way to kind of break it up and figure out different things to do with it. So I do have some more ideas for stuff like this and in my scraps. So that's where I'm at. As of today, I do have photos printed matched with a sketch for a single page layout, and then I have photos that I need to find and then decide if I'm going to do my own thing or find a sketch for another single page layout. So basically, part 1, I did 4 layouts, reset it. Part 2, I did 4 layouts, reset it. Now I'm probably only going to do 1 or 2 layouts before I kind of relook at my supplies because I am getting lower and lower. So I think my game plan is to just 1 or 2 layouts, maybe do single page layouts, and really try to get some of this stuff kind of killed. To me, I honestly thought I would have less supplies after doing 7 doubles and a single at this point. So it is kind of just surprising of how far you can kind of stretch these. But again, I've been using white cardstock for my bases, which that helps spread things out. I've been doing very photo heavy layouts, so that limits how much paper, but that's also my style. So I am sort of staying true to my style, and I am making sure that layouts that I am making are layouts that I love. So I'm going to wrap that up for here. I am going to continue working through this until I feel like I'm done. And I will definitely let you guys know sort of when that feeling hits me. So I will catch you guys in another video soon.